Thanks, Emmy. Thanks so much. Hello, Creative Pulsers. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to try and advance this forward. There we go. Hello, I'm Laura Larson. This is me. I'm looking at my bullets. So in terms of what we do, I consider myself to be kind of a Swiss Army knife. I'm a copywriter, I'm a project manager. I understand design enough I've had a career in marketing and media for a couple of decades. Most of that time I was in the media. I spent a long stint at a media organization, and then I went to an ad agency for a while, and then I set up an ad agency within a media organization. I was there for a decade and grew it and scaled it and worked with some amazing and wonderful people. Some of them are here tonight. Nice to see you. So there was leading teams and campaigns. It was great to work with people. You know, agency environments, there's a lot of movement, people come and go. And so over the years, you know, seeing people springboard and doing amazing things and then, you know, having the ability to work with people from interns to management and seeing people grow is incredible. And then with campaigns, some of the campaigns that I've worked on that you might be familiar with, Move Up Prince George for the Prince George Economic Development Commission, Fairmont, True North Rockies, and World Class Wild. And this, okay, so who works in marketing? Show of hands. Most of us, right? Okay, so keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up if you have felt stress or burnout in your role. Oh, all the hands are up. You know, yes, I also felt that, and I saw a stat last week that 79% of marketers have felt stress over the last year. And so all of us with the hands up are totally unsurprised. So rather than saying that I got burnt out, I'm going to say that I'm refilling my sparkle reserves. Yeah. So the brand, where I landed, was with an organization called the Dynamic Neural Retraining System. And my daughter said to me, "Mom, I'm worried that it's a cult." And I said, "It's not a cult, and I know this because I'm a yoga teacher, and that is a joke, sort of. But what I do know is that, you know, the power of somatics in the body, because I've seen it. I've seen how people can hold energy in the body. And so what DNRS does is it teaches applied neuroplasticity, and the application of that is life-changing for people that have chronic conditions. So, with DNRS, the objective, the brief from the owners was, we need you to drive sales and elevate the brand and its relationships, but mostly drive sales. So to do that, there was all kinds of things that needed to be fixed up. The brand had so many amazing assets. It's been around since 2008, and it had 100 pages of testimonials from people who had healed. And some of these people had been sick for decades with chronic condition, like bedridden, and, you know, couldn't take care of their kids. They had people that had to help them with just basic tasks and, you know, had to leave their jobs. And so their stories of healing and sharing, and there's a community of like 16,000 people in the forum where they cheer each other on, and every day it's just like an honor to witness, really. So with the assets, I had to look at the brand needed a lot of polish and cohesion. The digital channels lacked cohesion. Google Analytics was not reporting and double reporting, so I really didn't have a handle on what was going on until all that was cleaned up. Replaced 2 of the agencies of the 3 agencies that we work with. So getting the channels all together to be able to put together a media campaign to look at performance marketing and growing the brand. And then from there, working with the website to improve the user experience and start to optimize sales. And then content strategy and competitive analysis. So I'm going to put the takeaway up front, because before we can talk about all of the things that needed to change, change itself needed to happen. And so this is an organization where I work with very passionate founders. They created this program. In fact, the founder healed herself and then developed the program to help other people heal. It's like her life's work. And most of the staff, it's a really small team, have been there for years. And so a little bit of we've always done things this way. And so coming in to change that involved a lot of, light conversation to sort of explore, well, why do we do it that way and how can we do it differently? And so, when you work with clients, whether you're a marketing consultant or you're a freelancer or you're with an agency or you're in-house and you're working with clients, the exchange of ideas can sometimes feel like a bit of tug of war because, people know what they want, and then so trying to really find that middle ground means that you need to leave your ego at the door. Like if you're going to rumble, and I love this is Brene Brown, you gotta have that rumble language and really be curious to get people to explore ideas. So, I'm wondering and I'm curious about, and tell me more and walk me through that and help me understand. So there was a lot of that, and it's actually, we're seeing, in addition to the change of the brand, we have cultural change now where, everyone is comfortable to put forward ideas, and it's helping to really shape shift. So I would say you have to rumble respectfully, or as I like to say, the humble rumble. So now when we get into the changing of the website, this is what the homepage used to look like. The ops manager called this hero image the jump scare. And it's got 2 CTAs. There was 2 calls to action on every single image. So like, what do you do? I don't know where to click. And the language was very clinical. And she's lovely. Like this is a great shot. But when I got the Google Analytics sorted out, I found that fully half of the audience was over the age of 45. So you're not going to be younger. This is not going to inspire our target audience, and it's not the target audience, so why do we have this image? So we changed it to this. And when you look at this, it sort of calms your nervous system right away. Like you can feel the sound of the ocean and the sunshine, and maybe the sand is warm, and the way that the Inukshuk with the stacked rocks, it's something about the alignment of the body, I think of the chakras, because yoga. And then the copy tweak. So the copy tweak is less clinical, it's a little more supportive, and then changing the calls to action rather being buy now, buy this, to it's just strictly program details and pricing. So this is the hero image. And we know with generative AI, 80% of our market is in the US, so they already have Gemini in their Google search. And so, most sites are seeing up as much as 40% less traffic. So the traffic that does filter through, because they're getting the answers on the homepage, so if they're clicking through, that they have higher intent. And so we want them to find the information that they need to find. So this is kind of dark. I don't know if you can really see it, but one of the agencies who we parted ways with suggested that we show people who are suffering from a chronic condition suffering. So you get to the website and you look at this and you don't feel well and you're like, I'm so sad. And then sign up now and all of that. So, and it's not just chronic fatigue, it was like all of the conditions had the sad people. So we changed it to thinking about if you're sick with a chronic condition, what are the things that you can't do that you wish that you could do? Like, so if it's food sensitivities, it's beer and pizza. And if it's chronic fatigue, a lot of the people, this is actually one of the slices where the demo is younger because you can get that Epstein-Barr, it affects all ages. So a lot of the people are young parents and they can't play with their kids, and that's their biggest point of sadness. So showing that. And so in addition to chronic fatigue, some of those other chronic conditions, fibromyalgia, long COVID, POTS, post-orthotic tachycardia syndrome, multiple chemical sensitivities, food sensitivities, post-traumatic stress, anxiety and depression. So as we went through the website, I started to notice that the website itself was actually, there was a lot of features in there that were pretty good and just weren't unlocked. And so it was like a senior dev built it, and I kind of felt like it was populated to an intern, because we had the primary and secondary brand colors in there, but everything was white. I'm like, why? Because then you can start to get that color blocking, and if you have dual CTAs, you can make them pop. Okay. And so everybody was afraid to touch the website. They were not going there, it's going to break, and you know, it's complex for sure. But in the back end, what? Yeah, nobody knew. It had been accruing like 10 leads a day since 2023. There's all these leads in the back end. And then when I added a little bit of contextual and bridging information between every question, it doubled. So now we have this to let go of the familiar and embrace the new. And for me personally, 100%. For the brand, absolutely. And for the people who are chronically ill, yeah, I mean, it's hard. Take the leap. This is my LinkedIn. That's my Instagram. Feel free to connect. The brand, the URL for Dynamic Neural Retraining System is retrainingthebrain.com. If you have friends in your network who are suffering from chronic conditions, let them know. Thank you so much for your time. Lovely to see you. Have a great night.